Good morning, everybody. It's David Scott Peters with therestaurantexpert.com, and I'm about to speak to hopefully a room full of people. We'll find out. It's early morning here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, at the Pizza and Pasta Northeast Trade Show, the Expo. Now, this is the second year I've spoken here. It's the second year they've had it back in live, and it's actually a pretty good show. If you're in the area, you should stop by. There's lots to see if you're a restaurant. Doesn't matter where your pizza or pasta, there's good stuff. And they do a great job with education. So today I'm going to speak, I know you probably can't read that screen. It's the secrets to holding management team accountable. Now, this is one of my favorite presentations. Why? Because what I find is most of us as restaurant owners and managers, we don't do what's necessary to make sure people do what they're supposed to do. What do I mean by this? Well, let me tell you a little story. Yesterday, I'm standing in line at Caesars Hotel Casino, waiting for my car at the valet. And I hear what is obviously a restaurant manager along with another restaurant manager bragging about one of their new employees who does all the side work. Like, oh, when he shows up, he says, send everybody home, I'll get all the side work done. And how incredibly impressed they are with him, and how this guy is going to make it big, and he's getting wait till he gets the busy shifts and makes really good money and what have you. Well, the fact of the matter is they were boasting about how this guy could do anything, and they were okay with him allowing other employees to go home, that he would do all the side work. Well, is that really a good thing? Or because what was the other thing they followed up with? Well, when I work, I don't even worry about it. I don't even have to look. I don't have to check. This guy's great. Now look, don't get me wrong. I think it's fantastic that they have a great employee. But the fact of the matter is they just demonstrated they're not good managers because they can't get anybody else to do the work, right? That's what they told me. I mean, they didn't tell me I was listening, overhearing. I was eavesdropping. And they said, I can't get anybody else to do the work is what they told me. At least we have this one guy. Well, we here at therestaurantexpert.com teach so many systems to help you change your life, get your life back, make more money, have managers know what their job is. But it can be very overwhelming. And everything that I teach can be overwhelming. It's not rocket science, but it can be overwhelming. I always joke around that I suck, I create work. So today's presentation here at the Pizza and Pasta Northeast Show, we are going to be presenting holding your management team accountable. Well, what does that mean? It means that if you are sitting here trying to put things together, you want to make change in your business. Well, you want to implement systems. How are you going to do that if you don't have people on your team to do the work? Now, why do we have managers in the first place? Why do you have a manager in the first place? To ensure the process is working. So I don't know about you, but I have managers in order to make sure that things get done. So often we talk about accountability. We talk about checklists. It's one of the basics we talk about in the speech, or I talk about, I should say. One of those things that we talk about is that accountability side of things with checklists. Now, checklists seem extremely simple. Easy, right? Well, I know what a lot of people think. They say, David, and there'll be a room full of people who are going to say this, David, I've tried checklists. Checklists don't work. I can't get my employees to do it. And then I'll talk to, say, a manager, if I'm on a consult, and I'll say, what's going on? They'll walk me through the restaurant, and they'll talk about all these different things that don't get done. And I say, what do you do? They write the employee up. How quickly do we write up employees for not doing side work? What about managers? Why do I have managers in the first place? To ensure the process is working. I'm trying to make sure that they do the work, that they make sure the employees do the work. That's why I have them on the team. So one of the things I talk about in this speech is, number one, checklist is the foundation of all of your systems. Why? Because they allow you to impose your will without being there, making sure things are done your way. All you got to do is follow the checklist. Well, what I really need is a manager following up on that checklist. And I want you to create a culture in your restaurant called close to open, where we close each of our shifts 100% ready for the next shift to open. That way we gain trust between managers, that we know we've got each other's back, that we don't walk in the morning and go, oh, son of a bitch, this isn't done, that's not done, that's not done. We go looking for 8, 9, 10, and we're pissed off that the night crew sucks and the managers don't do and da-da-da-da. And we create a terrible culture in our business. What if I could walk in the door and know 100% ready, my restaurant's 100% ready? How much trust could you build on your team? Well, that's what I want. So ultimately, I'm going to stop holding the line employee accountable, responsible to make sure all their side work is done. I'm going to hold managers accountable. That's why I have them. So look, managers, if you're going to let employees go home and not do their side work, well then I'm going to be looking to you to do that side work before you leave. See, once I start holding you accountable, then you're not going to let anybody go home. You're now going to act like the state of Missouri I talk about. Why? It's the show me state. Hey, is all your side work done? Yep, all good. And you say, great, show me. There's no conflict in that, right? You're going to ensure the process is working. Unless you want to do everybody's work, then that doesn't make you a good manager, does it? Because what we're supposed to do is get the most out of our people. We're supposed to have systems in place so that we can impose our will without being there. And then ultimately what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn that around, because that even sounds like a negative. The word accountability is like, I'm going to hold you accountable. Well, the truth of the matter is I'm going to hold you answerable. I talk about in this presentation, if I train my managers what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, by when, then I can hold them accountable and change that word to answerable. That means if I've trained you what your job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when, I get that out of the way. You get to go through this, say, hey, what are my obligations? Well, it's take inventory, it's do the checklist, it's make sure people show up on time. I don't know, whatever your obligations are as that manager on duty. Then you're going to make a decision. Your decision is, am I going to do the work, am I not going to do the work? And then ultimately, I'm going to hold you answerable that you either did your job or you didn't. Because I've trained you what your job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, more importantly, by when. I have given you every tool. You've demonstrated you can do that you understand. Then you decide to do your job or not, and I'm going to hold you answerable, which means I'm not a big bad owner or manager. No. I put the onus back on you. If I gave you the right training and support to be successful, then you decide. So if we have a time where I go, hey man, you've been taking inventory for the last 13 weeks every Sunday. Why didn't you do it this Sunday? We're not going to have conflict. No, not at all. You're going to go, I'm really sorry. We're not even going to give me excuses, because you know what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when. You made a decision whether you were going to do your job or not, and you decided you live with the consequences. Live with the consequences whether you did it or didn't. So we can simplify that. Now there's a whole slew of tools, about 7 tools that I make sure that you're using. I don't have time for that right now. I really just wanted to get up this morning, kind of share with you. I'm about to give one of my favorite presentations, share with you the story of these 2 managers talking about this one great employee. Look, man, if you only got one great employee, we got a problem. You can have a great employee, but that could be a superstar, but you better have a group of great employees that are all sharing the workload. Because, you know, the other part of that, the moral of that story, when you had one good employee, everybody starts to resent them. They're like a favorite. And eventually you burn them out because they get tired of doing all the work while nobody else does. So if my management team follows the checklist, holds people accountable to those checklists, ensures everybody shares in that checklist, well, we create a positive work environment where people feel like everything's fair. I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope that this little YouTube live thing is, well, you found it helpful. If you are in Atlantic City, New Jersey this morning, get up. I got a 9 o'clock speech. Come see me give this live at the Pizza and Pasta Northeast show. I'd love to see you. Thanks, everybody. You have a fantastic rest of the week.